Okay, alright guys, let's do this together. Exercise 5, work in small groups. Okay, Nhi, number 1, why is it important to preserve old things from the past? No, we don't start with because I think. We have to start with what? Yes, that's right. Yeah, we have, at least we have to say something. Oh, it's really, I think it's really important to preserve or to keep old things. Okay, you need to paraphrase that again, and then you say the reason. Yeah. Okay, go on again.
Because it provides information in the past for learning and study, learn history, or can attract tourists come to Vietnam to see protein or mountain. It can help Vietnam to improve fit.
Yeah, be very careful. That should be in an example. Okay, because this question they ask, why is it important to preserve all things from the past? They are asking, this is what kind of question is this? Is it a private question or like a personal question, or is that a general question? This is a general question. Okay, so that means that you need to answer like for the whole world, not just for Vietnam. If you want to talk about Vietnam, you have to say for example. Okay, because here they are not asking about Vietnam only, they're asking about anywhere. Okay, it is applied for anyone in the world, not just Vietnam. So if you want to talk about Vietnam or Ho Chi Minh City or anywhere, you have to say for example. But before that, you need to answer the question first. Yeah, you have to say, well, we need to preserve this one because it's very important, something like that. But don't say anything about Vietnam yet. Yeah, you can add Vietnam as an example, but not as the main answer. Got it, guys? Okay, now I want we just continue and then we will listen to more answers from our friends. Number 2, what ancient things are kept in museums in your culture?
In my culture, there are lots of artifacts or collected. For example, I think they often collect weapons and something like the artifact from lots of culture. For example, they spot drums or stem.
Yeah, doesn't really matter. You just try to answer something and then we listen to our friends and then we get more ideas. Yeah, antique, not antiqua. Antique. Okay. All right. TOEIC number 1. Why is it important to preserve old things from the past?
I think it is really important to preserve all things from the past because it can make teenagers know about their culture or their traditional things with their exactly evidence. And sometimes we can make people in another country know about our traditional things. If they excited with those things, I think they will search or search to know more about those things.
Okay. Yeah. Then next one, number 2.
The Asian things that are kept in museum in my culture are many old things that they kept in the historical period, such as weapons and coins. And in the other museum, they also kept ancient clothing, jewelry, and tools that people
Okay. And what could be the reason for that?
They help us connect to the past.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, just like Vietnamese when you learn literature. Okay. And then they may ask, okay, why do we need to do this? And then you have to say the reason, right? And say, just to make sure that the young people or the next generations can always remember about our history, like that. Well, no, just think, just answer that, just like the way when you learn literature in Vietnam. Yeah. Okay, third number one.
It is important to preserve all things from the past because it helps us understand and appreciate our culture heritage. It allows us to connect with the past and learn from our history, while also creating a sense of place and community.
Okay. It's alright. Okay guys, now let's move on to the next part. Speaking parts 2 and 3. Exercise 1. Nhi, read that. Yes, working pairs, how much do you remember about speaking past 2 and 3? Say whether these statements are true, T, or false, F. If you think a statement is false, correct it. Okay, do it guys. Actually, we did it many times already, so you must be able to answer them very quickly. For example, number 1, that's correct, right? I can use my nose in the topical during my talk, blah blah. Okay, now guys, let's fix this together. Number 1, Quỳnh Hương, read that. Yeah, that's true. That's for speaking part 2. Okay. Remember, speaking part 2, they're going to give you a topic card and you have 1 minute to prepare. They also give you a piece of paper and a pencil, normally, okay? And you can write whatever you like there. And during speaking, you can have a look at, or you can look at that topic card, and also you can look at your own notes. Yeah? And that's correct. Now, number 2, TOEIC. Yeah, there is choice of topics. That's wrong. False. Why? Because you only have one topic only. You have no choice. And in case you have never had such experience, what should you do? If they ask you something you have never been there before, or you have never done that before, so what should you do? What? Prepare to die. What? Bear? Bear. Okay. Yeah. Yes, that's right. You need to come up with something, or you need to make something up. Okay? But actually you can even tell the truth, but you need to know how to answer that. Okay? You might come up with, or you might make something up. That means you can imagine about something you have never done before and try to make that easier for you. But even though you want to tell the truth that, okay, I have never done that before, it's okay, acceptable, right? But you need to tell the reason why you never done that before, blah blah, something like that. You need kind of to tell the whole story. You don't just say, oh, luckily I have never done that before, so done. No, don't do that. Okay? For example, like if they ask you, like, tell me about your best friend. Of course, the best thing is if you don't have any best friend, like you kind of an introvert person and you don't have so many friends, for example, and you cannot say anything. But number one, you can come up, or you can make something up. You can imagine about your best friend, and then you talk about that. That's the easiest thing you can do. Or number two, you can just tell the truth. You say, well, I don't have so many friends, so I cannot come up, or I cannot tell you the name of anyone, okay? Because I have no best friends, something like that. But you must be able to explain things, okay? Next one, number 3.
I want to talk about the poem in order.
No, that's false. I need to talk about the points in order. Remember, in the topic card, normally they give you like 3 points, right? One main question and like 3 points, and then also one small part they just added there. Well, you don't need to answer those questions or those points in order. Okay? Actually, those are just some points they leave it there. They leave them there for you just to help you. You don't even need to answer them. Got it? The most important thing is you need to answer the main question. But for the supported points, you don't need to answer them all. Or if you do, you can just answer in any order you like. In any order you like. Okay? Number 4. Thư.
It is a good idea to prepare a talk beforehand. True.
No, it's false. It is a good idea to prepare a talk beforehand. That's false. Why false? Does it mean that you should not prepare anything at all? No. But don't misunderstand. You can prepare, but don't try to memorize the answer. That's the meaning of this sentence. Okay? Here they say that it is a good idea to prepare a talk beforehand. For example, like normally they will ask something like, just describe your best friend, or describe a place you to come to, or describe your best teacher, or the one you admire the most, something like that. Actually, you can prepare in advance and you can practice, but don't try to memorize the answer from A to Z. Got it? Yeah, you don't try to memorize everything, because you practice a lot, but don't memorize things. Just practice. Because when you come to the real exam, maybe they change the topic just a little bit. If they ask you, for example, like about your best teacher, you may they may ask about your best teacher at secondary school or at high school or something like that. Okay, so you practice a lot, make sure that you can speak fluently, but don't try to memorize everything. Okay. Number 5. Yes, I can talk about myself. True. Yes, because it is part 2, right? They ask you about your best friend, your best teacher, a hero you admire the most, or the most beautiful place you have ever been to. So of course that's all about you. So you can talk about yourself, of course. Number 6. Well, it's true. I don't need to speak for the full 2 minutes. That's true. Remember, you can speak from 1 to 2 minutes. Remember that? Yeah, 1 to 2 minutes. If you run out of ideas, no need to try to say something very stupid, and just to make sure you can speak for 2 minutes. No, from 1 to 2 minutes. Okay? But of course, the best is somewhere like 2 minutes, so the examiner has more information to judge you. Yeah? Because you go to the exam, you need to show your speaking skill. But if you don't talk much, then how can the examiner give you any point? Yeah? So from 1 to 2 minutes. Alright. Now, next one, part 3. General questions, remember? Okay, 7. Yeah, the questions are similar to part 1. That is false. That's not correct. Because for part 1, there is some, they're going to ask you some personal questions, okay, just about you. But for part 3, those are the general questions. Yeah, they can talk about the word, about culture, anything. Very general. But normally it would go hand in hand with topic, with the topic in part 2. Yeah, normally. Number 8. No, part 3 is not longer than part 1. It's false. Because each of them, according to the structure of the speaking test, you're gonna have around 4 to 5 minutes for both of them. Okay? For parts 1 and 2, parts 1 and 5, parts 1 and 3, sorry, both of them last 4 to 5 minutes. Just the same. 9. Yes, the questions gradually get more challenging, and that's true. Yes, that means it becomes, all of the questions will become more and more difficult. That's why when they ask you the first couple of questions, and then you think, oh, it's so easy, I can answer them all. But then when it comes to part 3, and then they ask you something, you say, oh my God, what the hell is this? Okay, don't be so shocked. And you say, what's going on with this? Don't be so shocked, because actually the difficulty level should increase, of course. Yeah? Because they want to test everything. And also, if they ask you even more, the more questions they ask you is because they think, oh, you have the capability to talk more. And normally if you ask you a lot, then that means that you have a chance to get a very high score. Got it? Because if they just ask you just a few questions, you know, oh my God, you screw up already. Yeah? Yeah, I have nothing to ask, because I know, oh, there's nothing to ask this guy anymore, because, you know, it's terrible. Nothing to ask. But if they need to ask you a lot, just more and more questions, because they want to help you to get a higher score. That's it. Oh, I can give you one example. There used to be a person here, like, she used to attend an IELTS exam, okay? And when she came to the speaking test, at first she thought that she did really great, she did really well there. But in the end, then when she were speaking, then the examiner just kept stopping her and kept asking more and more questions. And she thought that she screwed up already. But actually, she did not. She got even higher scores compared with the time before. Okay, she used to take an IELTS exam like a couple of years ago, and last couple of months, and she took it again, and then this time she got even higher scores for speaking and the overall score. Okay, but she thought it was so hard, and why? And just ask some questions like why the examiner just asked so many questions and so many tough questions. Was there anything wrong with the examiner, something like that? No, but in the end she got a high score. Yeah. Next. Yeah, I can ask the examiner to rephrase the question. True, yes, that's correct. Okay, if you don't understand the question, don't try to answer that. Okay, first you need to make sure that you understand the question and then you answer that. Don't try to jump in and say whatever you like just to make sure that okay, you hope that when you give a mess, when you give a messy answer, then hopefully somehow it will be correct. That's not a good strategy at all. Okay, in an IELTS exam you must be able to understand everything. You must be able to understand the questions, and then you're gonna answer that. Don't try to answer something you don't understand. If you don't understand any question, just ask the examiner. Number one, you can say like, could you please repeat that? Okay, or you say like, could you please explain the question or something like that. Just make sure that you understand it. Okay, so if you're lucky, then the examiner will repeat that question again, or maybe he or she will rephrase it, or they may change the question. Yeah, but you need to ask. Alright, so we have just covered everything here from exercise 1. Yeah, it's time for a short break before we move on to exercise 2.
Cambridge Preliminary English Test 5 University of Cambridge ESOL examinations in conjunction with Cambridge University Press. This recording is copyright. CD 2. This is the Cambridge Preliminary English Test. Test 3. There are 4 parts to the test. You will hear each part twice. For each part of the test, there will be time for you to look through the questions and time for you to check
Alright guys, let's continue. Okay, now let's move on to exercise 2. Quỳnh Hương, read that. Yes, okay. So this is speaking part 2. Now you have 1 minute to prepare. You need to do it the same way as you do in the exam. Just write in your note. Don't write anything in the topic card. Okay? And then you need to tell your friends, describe a museum or exhibition that you particularly enjoy visiting. You should say where the museum or exhibition is or was, and who you went with, what you saw there, and explain why you enjoy visiting this museum or exhibition.
Now turn to part 2, questions 8
That's finished, guys. Start talking. I think it's been more than 1 minute already. Okay, now do it. Try to speak from 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah, check your time. Check your time. finished? Done? Okay, now tell me. Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first? All of you have to do it. You? Okay, go. What? Go, do it. Okay, TOEIC, you can go first. Yeah, check the time for her. Go. Okay, time. Okay, that's good. The time is good, and also the content is also good. You answer all the questions there. The grammar is also good, and the fluency is good as well. Yeah. Yeah, you already talk about the museum you used to visit, and you already explained why you enjoyed it so much. And yeah, of course, you need to improve in terms of grammar, of course, but basically it's good. You can get somewhere from 5.5 to 6 points with that. Okay, who's next? Yeah, we know, right? Go. Oh, no. Tomorrow. We run out of time. Okay, tomorrow, yeah?